What's up, YouTube? My name is Edmund. This is my new channel, Obscured Guitars, teaming up with my buddy Jacob. He's been playing guitar almost his whole life. He's probably the best guitarist I know. Me personally, in high school and everything, everybody and their mother was playing guitar. I didn't want to play guitar. I wanted to be different, so I wanted to play bass. So I picked up a bass, tried to learn it, couldn't play with the crap. Tried to learn guitar, can't play with the crap. But in owning some and trying to play them, I discovered I kind of had a talent for repair work and actually just building them. So that's what I did when I was in high school. I bought a bass, just a body, and then I found a neck that fit it and built it piece by piece. And kind of liked the way that came out, so I started doing that as a hobby. And it's been some years since I've done that, so and I haven't touched a guitar in a few years because I've been so busy with other things. But I've decided to get back into it, start working on some projects. And since I've been on YouTube on some other channels for a while now, I've decided to kind of turn this into a YouTube channel. I've got two custom guitars that I built for myself. One's a bass, one's a regular guitar. I can't play, but I built them for myself anyway. So here's a quick rundown over them. And this is basically my channel introduction, my channel trailer. And I've got some big plans coming up ahead. So I'm really gonna do this seriously. I'm gonna take it seriously, be as professional with the builds as I possibly can. And like I said, I'm teaming up with my buddy Jacob, who's better with the finer things on them. I can do all the brute work, like putting them together and painting and sanding and doing all the tough work. Not that nothing else is tough. And Jacob is really, really good. He's got an ear for certain things, so he's gonna handle like the intonation and the fine details that somebody that's going blind and deaf might not be able to handle. So let's go over what I've got. My two guitars that I've got right now. Well, I've actually got like 4 or 5, but the two custom guitars that I got right now. Alright, this is the bass that I built when I was in high school. See, the bridge there is a custom shop independent bridge system. Each string gets its own bridge. Music Man pickup, I believe that's a Mighty Mite pickup. It's a Washburn Bantam series body, I believe. Yeah, I found it on eBay or something really cheap, and I decided to run with it because I was looking up guitars and stuff, and I found that. So went searching, found a neck that I thought would fit it, but it didn't quite fit. I had to put a shim in there to get it to fit right. But it's worked out. I've done a lot of recording and stuff with it. It's a pretty solid bass. It sounds good. It's just really ugly. And you can see some of my work was pretty sloppy, but considering this is the first time I ever tried to do anything like this, it came out pretty good because I just rushed through it. I had no patience back then, so I put it together. As you can see right there, the tuners don't even line up right. They're kind of crooked, that last one there. It's a Washburn Mercury Series neck. It's a pretty good neck. I think there's maybe some dead spots on the neck, maybe some fret buzzing or something, but it was nothing too serious. You can see the fretboard needs to be polished and waxed again. It looks like it's coming off there. For a guitar that's been sitting in a gig bag for about 5 years, it's a lot dirtier than I expected it to be. I didn't think the dust would get to it that much, but this thing, it's completely custom. I built it for myself, and it ended up being exactly what I wanted at the time. There's another example right there on the bridge for my sloppy work. The bridges, they're not lined up perfectly. You can see that the unfinished wood there under the bridge is because it's a through body, and that's actually kind of pointless because the way the bridge is designed, you don't need to run it through the body like that. But I wanted it to be a through body. Looking at it now, I probably should have got some ferrules to put in there instead of just running the strings straight through the bare wood. The pickup, the logo and everything on it's worn off, but it's a Music Man pickup. Looks like the screws are stripped out there. I might have to just strip this thing down and rebuild it again using the same parts. The knobs on it I thought were pretty cool. I found these at the time I was in high school. I was all obsessed with skulls and crossbones and pirates, and this is before the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out, so I was like the only person into pirates and stuff back then. So I got some custom made knobs to put on it that have a skull and crossbone in it, and not just that, but the strap locks I installed on it are skull and crossbone as well. Those were, I believe I found those on eBay too. They were custom shop strap locks, and I mean it's sloppy and ugly, but it works. It's a solid base for what I needed it to be back then, and I like it personally. There's a strap lock there, but anyway, let's take a look at the back here. Now here's where you can really see that my work was sloppy back then. The tuners, they're not lined up right. They're kind of crooked, especially that last one. I don't know how I got it so far off. And the neck was a nice neck. I'm actually surprised. That's a big problem. Back then, I didn't know any better. I used the wrong screws to install the neck. I should have installed plastic ferrules in that I couldn't find a cavity cover for it, so I custom made my own out of a piece of wood and covered it with masking tape and spray painted it red, and you can just stick your finger in there and pop it off. I never screwed it into place, but I really should have installed some ferrules on the bridge for the strings to go through the body there. I'm probably gonna have to redo this thing and see if I can make it a more professional job. And that base might look ugly and it looks sloppy, but in reality, I probably spent $150 building it. And there was actually a lot of custom shop parts on there that I was able to pick up from a manufacturing place on eBay. But anyway, on to the next one. Now this one I'm pretty proud of. This is an obscure brand. I found the neck and body together with no hardware or anything. I installed a Wilkinson tremolo. Nice bridge. Wilkinson's a great brand at affordable prices. Seymour Duncan 59 humbucker. Duncan Performer Great White Snark, and a DiMarzio. I want to say Hot Rails, but I think Duncan makes Hot Rails, so it's something with track in the name. I got to look it up and see. I got to find the packaging. I love the shark tooth fret inlays. This brand it's kind of popular among custom builders and people that do the kind of thing that I do. It's called OSP. And this one, the quality on this one, I built it shortly after I built that base, but the quality of it was just way beyond what I did on the base. Like, this one came out pretty awesome. Seymour Duncan 59 humbucker. So you can imagine how this thing sounds. Great White Snark, I remember that. And the DiMarzio, I love rail pickups. I don't know why I like them so much. I just love the way they look. And the neck pickup is just really sick. Decided to go with the shiny chrome hardware and white pickups and the white cap on the selector there. It is pretty much just your basic Strat model, I guess, kind of like a Jackson. And I thought it was so similar to a Jackson that I decided to install some Jackson parts on it. So I flip it over here, and you can see whenever the tuners here are off of Jackson. At the time when I built this, I thought Jackson was the top of the line. I liked them, but I couldn't actually afford one for myself. So I just put some Jackson tuners on it because I thought they were pretty cool and they were pretty solid tuners. And as you can see, those are lined up a lot better than they were on the base. This one, the reason I was able to get it so cheap is because it said there was a flaw somewhere in it. And I could never find the flaw, really, until more recently when I started becoming more serious about building stuff. And there's a dead spot somewhere on the neck, so it's not that great to record with, but it's a pretty solid guitar. I love it. I'm not going to sell that for anything. I have built a couple other guitars and stuff before, built a couple basses. I built a Les Paul for somebody. Sold a handful. I've probably built about 10 guitars total. These are the only two I have left. So, as you can see there, those were probably the first two guitars that I built. The bass was pretty sloppy, didn't come out very good as far as the appearance goes, but it sounds great. I rushed through it. I didn't take my time on it. So a lot of things are crooked and it just doesn't look that great. But it plays well. I probably spent about $150 building that bass, but that was 15 years ago when I built that bass. So I was in high school. I probably couldn't build the same thing again for anywhere near that price. It probably cost $500-600 to build it now. I would have to go with a much cheaper hardware and stuff than I did on that one. But the guitar itself, the OSP, I love the way that one came out. That one came out exactly the way I wanted it to, and it sounds great other than the dead spot in the neck. And I probably spent about $300 to $350 building that. Once again, 15 years ago, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it came out great. And so those are the two that I have left. I've built regular Strats. I've built other basses. I like working with Washburn. They might be on the lower end of the spectrum, but that's actually why I like working with them, because they're cheap. But that's how I was in the past anyway. I was trying to do everything really cheap and sloppy and in a hurry in the past. But I'm in my 30s now. I'm older, more mature. So now I'm going to be getting better quality products. Eventually I'm going to start doing full-on luthier work where I carve my own bodies and stuff like that. But for the time being, I'm going to just piece them together like this. And hopefully this channel takes off. I'm going to keep doing different guitars. I've got something I'm working on right now. It's in the works. And if it comes out the way I want it to, I don't even know how to describe it. You'll just have to wait to see that video. It's going to be amazing if it works out. Anyway, thanks for checking this video out. Hopefully it's good enough for you to subscribe and stick around, because I really want everybody to see what I'm doing on this next guitar. I don't want to say too much about it, but you'll see it coming soon. I don't know when the video is going to come out, because I'm starting pretty much from scratch, and I don't have any of the parts yet. Everything's been ordered. I'm waiting for it to ship in. I should start getting the parts in pretty soon. I'm going to do a lot of custom work on it. I'm actually going to paint this one myself. That's something I never really wanted to do when I was building them before. I didn't want to have to paint them myself, because that's probably the hardest part about building a guitar in reality, is probably the paint jobs. And I didn't want to do that. So like the OSP, I found it was that nice finish on it. The bass is a perfect example, because it was just stained. It wasn't finished. It's stained and sealed. It was meant to be finished, but I never finished it. It came exactly the way it is. So the only paint work I did on it was the cavity cover I made, which is a piece of balsa wood. I think I took it from a model airplane and just cut it to fit that, and it snapped in perfectly, and I painted that red. And surprisingly, the red is a pretty good match with the brown body. But for the projects coming up in the future, I'm going to do custom paint jobs and things like that. And they're going to be branded with my brand, with Obscured Guitars. The hardware and stuff, the bridges, I really like the Wilkinson brand. They make great bridges and tuners and things like that, and they're affordable. So unless I'm doing something that I want to be really high end, I'm going to stick with Wilkinson for now. But keep an eye out for this next video that's coming up. It might be, it should be sometime within the next month. It's probably going to take me about a month to build this guitar. And that's if I'm working on it every day. It's probably going to take me a month to build it. I'd say at least a week to almost 2 weeks on the paint job by itself. But once I get the paint job done, the guitar will probably be done in about a week. So keep an eye out. It depends on how quickly the parts get here. and how quick I can build it. But that video is coming, and I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping to build some excitement about what I'm doing on this channel. So thanks for watching, subscribe, and see you around.